Start every morning, think coffee. It's either here or cup of joe. I love the New York brands. It just kind of gets me going. Not quite as much caffeine as Starbucks, but it will definitely get you rolling. And then because I work 7 days a week, a lot of the times it's a red eye. Gotta go diesel. My favorite thing about waking up in New York is that one, I'm in New York. And two, I think New York itself just wakes you up. Every morning, I'm kind of abusive to my team. I make everybody actually get up and have a team meeting at 8 o'clock. As a real estate agent, we actually have no schedule. So the hardest thing for a agent just in general is to create structure. And if we show up every single day, or at least I make them show up 5 days a week, 8 a.m., we do our morning check-in, we do role play. This way they're actually warmed up, ready to talk to clients and advise in the best way that they possibly can.
Hope you make a lot of money.
You wanted jalapeno bacon avocado bagels.
Wait,
Yeah.
bacon avocado.
Well, with tomato all baked into the actual bagel. But they do have 1 pound containers of cream cheese. So if you want to start your day off with curls.
Starting my day off with a bike ride.
There you go. If team members show up late, we actually just start without them. No punishment, but I think that the guilt, maybe it's just my Jewish guilt, will actually get them. My favorite quote from heavyweights is, stragglers get left behind. That's an impressive knife to have in a real estate office. At any given time, I'm in about 30 real-time text conversations. Currently, I'm sitting at 500 unread. No, sadly, no relations. It's all just business. Good morning, Blatman team. Yay. All right, who wants to start us off this morning?
Got an accepted offer for my clients at 181 East 101 Street.
Congrats.
Yesterday was closing on my biggest deal thus far.
So my win from yesterday is I picked up 2 new clients, both looking at one on Central Park West and one at condos in the West Village and Soho, and checking in on 2 properties that we're going to be listing very soon to make sure that the contractors have done the right paint job and get one prepped for staging. No, it is shocking how things get listed without actually having them painted, cleaned, and like presentable, because nobody wants to do that. Even though it's a paint job, nobody wants to paint. It's important in our lifestyle to kind of keep doing a refresh every few years. And when you think about our lives, especially in New York City, we're almost like hermit crabs, because every time that a hermit crab grows, they need to leave their shell and find a bigger one. Otherwise they're stuck. Same thing with our social circles and our lives. So if everything stays the same, what in your life will actually change? Kind of had a weird introspective week this week. Every week I actually meet with my Tom Ferry coach. I think it's always important to have extra coaching so we can see where our efficiency is lagging and any new skills that we need to learn. So every Thursday I get to meet with my coach and go over different business building tactics. And right now I'm trying to learn a lot more new skills of actually building a team, building a business, and adding in efficiency and systems and processes. Morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing all right, how about you?
I'm good, where are you?
I'm in the office. We're shooting a day in the life video of Daniel Blatman. So we actually have videographer. This is Tasha.
How are you guys?
She's the coach.
I'm so glad we're implementing.
Definitely doing it, finally.
Tell me about your week.
This week I've stepped away from everything personal and social and just had much more of a low-key time. So currently now looking for a few off-market properties in Soho and the West Village for 3 different clients.
Did you have the conversation with Olivia that, hey, listen, you have my permission to make decisions? How did that go?
Went pretty well. And now working on a different strategy in figuring out how we're exactly going to move forward. But she does have the executive power to just make decisions.
People want to connect with you. You're the product. And the way people connect with you is by hearing your voice, by hearing your narrative. What do you talk about? What are they going to get? So by the time you meet them, oh, hey, Dan, how are you? They already feel like they know you. That's what we're going for.
Yep.
So remember, that's just sort of you sitting down talking with people that you know. Yeah?
Okay. Look at the history of the building. It's all internally facing, so you can give her a little bit more guidance on that. And when you're in the Upper West Side there, look up to like 1.9, but when you're in the Upper West Side there, there's a big difference with down payment. So in your qualification call with her, you do need to know, can she pull off a 25% down, or does it need to be 20? Also in the Upper West Side, they do change a lot about what their debt to income ratio qualifications are. Hey Corey, how are you? So the volume has only increased, and along with the pricing. But it's still good pricing though. When you compare what the pricing is now, the value that you're getting is actually phenomenal versus when that building first launched. They weren't negotiating on any of the prices. We'll start working on our Carbone reservation now, too. Bye. Right now we are actually going in to check on a paint job to make sure that this apartment prep is ready for staging so that we can actually make the listing active. It's just the cell phone's mostly an appendage. Gunslinger, because my cell phone timing in order to pull the phone out of my pocket if we had broker Olympics, right now I'm at 22%. That's battery number 1. Full charge from this morning, but that's why I got number 2 and 3. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Happy Thursday. How you guys doing? Good. Thanks for taking care of everything. So they had to do a couple patches on the ceiling just to make sure that the paint wasn't bubbling. Catastrophe.
Yeah, he's stupid though, because all he needs to do, if he wants to avoid any kind of tax, if he doesn't need the money, which he definitely doesn't, because he's got $4 million in the bank, all he needs to do is a 1031 exchange. I couldn't even explain this to him.
Yep, but he says that he is smart and doesn't want to play with his finances in a different way. So as far as the paint job, I think we're supposed to go over a lot of things. I know that this was all patched. Was there any way to make that much less obvious? The painting around the lights, like this all looks really patchy.
Okay.
That's gonna be around both lights. All of the corners
Okay.
I'm seeing have been skipped. We still have this crack here. Still a bunch, like the paint job on this, I would say is maybe too thin of coats. You need another coat on this. Hi, this is Daniel. Good, how are you? Yeah, can I call you in? I talked to the seller's agent this morning. Right now they're doing it step by step, but I'm just finishing up a walkthrough and then I'll give you a call back in like 15 minutes. We had much more of a conversation because this just gets painted over and it's not even necessary in the apartment. But then the baseboard molding in this hallway. Hey Tim, how are you?
How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good.
Excellent. Good seeing you too. The reason that we just went through that process is that we're prepping this apartment to get staged to then be able to put on the market. The apartment has a bit of wear and tear, so we need it to look as new as possible. Anytime that you have contractors come in and do work on your space, you should always have a punch list. So we need to go in with the blue tape to make sure that they actually have quality control and did what they needed to do. Making sure that there are these checks and balances and that we do go above and beyond to protect everybody, but more also that the quality is getting delivered so that when we do put it on the market, it looks new versus somebody just throwing up some white paint and saying, let's see what happens. The things that are actually going to be consistent with my day is that no day is the same after 11 a.m. So I'm up at 6:45, do my reading, do a little bit of a light workout. What is consistent is the team call, ready for the lead, and then getting another business call, or I do prospecting for myself where I follow up on all deals that are going on, touch base with clients, and then also make sure that I'm able to get scheduled with all of the showings that do need to happen. What's also consistent is that I connect with my director of operations every day. That's usually around 12, maybe 1 o'clock. And we go over all of the action items for what has to happen through the day, what either has happened that was on our list from last night, and what's on our list for the rest of the afternoon. Misconception about the industry, that we get to make our own schedule. Have not made my own schedule now in 9 years, which is conveniently the same time that I started real estate. And our schedule depends on everybody else. So the great thing about that is that it does provide some flexibility. However, in order to get that flexibility, we need to have some discipline. I happen to love my job and I love talking to as many people as I possibly can and helping as many people as I possibly can. So I'm always going to be available, which also means no life flexibility. My favorite place is to eat locally. I actually really like all of the restaurants that are on Park Avenue or between Park Avenue and Broadway, or we'll go with between Park Avenue and Fifth Avenue in Flatiron. To me, are some of the best restaurants, but I also really like them because the energy stays consistent throughout the entire place, so that when you're hanging out, if I go there by myself, the place still has like a really good lively energy, and it's not over the top, so I feel like I need to talk to people, but yet I still can, and the food's all really good. What I love most about what I do is the conversations. It's actually that I get to meet everybody from every walk of life, from every profession. I've worked with celebrity actors, I've worked with CEOs of major corporations, I've also worked with people that are just getting started in their first job. And everybody has a past, everybody has a future, and all have goals and a unique story to tell. So in this job, I get to advise people on one of the biggest purchases that they will ever do in their entire life. Hopefully it's just their first, not their last. But what's great is that I get to help guide them through this phase of life and into the next, and hear and understand what their story is in a very unique perspective. And by far, one of my favorite things about this business. It's really odd. I'm a Capricorn. We don't really do compliments. Best compliment a client gave me: I couldn't have done this without you. Or even just asking, what do you think we should do? We trust you. So now we're actually just going around previewing for a client who lives in Boston. He's very particular about what he wants, so we make sure that the space actually really works. Most of our job is actually saving our clients time and finding what they really want before we step them out of their very, very, very busy lives. So now we show every angle of the property, and we will show every nuance of it so that it's a great representation, so that they know what they're going to be walking into when they do come down. Ceilings are 16 feet tall, also have the recessed lighting. You could put another chandelier in. Ceilings up there range at 6 and 6.5 feet tall. We'll get there in a minute. Here is your view. There is the Roxy in Django. There's our Orb, World Trade. There you go. Right now I like Tribeca because we're obviously in Tribeca. And Tribeca is just really cool because you have these charming cobblestone lined streets. You still have some wide sidewalks, which you don't find in Soho or the West Village. It just has a lot of character, charm, and there are no tall buildings. So it feels very New York, very real, and also European at the same time. I do love the West Village. I actually really like the East Village, and Nomad is one of my favorite spots, mainly because everything is very walkable, it's easy transportation, it's practical, and the food is phenomenal. Fun fact of the day, I'm in Tribeca cruising around, and I always thought this is cobblestone because that's what everybody calls it. This is the first way that they actually paved streets. Maybe it's now the second way, because technically this is called a Belgian block street. All over Tribeca, and everybody gets it wrong. So now you know, this is Belgian block. Right now in the New York City real estate market, we're in a very interesting and fun time to be here, because we've had 4 years of a lull market that has now culminated and caught up with where we are now. Prices have stabilized versus where they were in 2018 when politics got in the way. And now we are seeing low inventory, rates increasing, and everybody still wants to live in New York City. That is culminating in something fantastic, and also a great buying opportunity because you're catching it on a way up versus on the way down. Here at the Blatman team, and I'm trying to learn self-promotion. If anybody knows me, they know that that is one of the hardest things for me to do. Ever since I moved over to Triple Mint in August of 2019, we have been the #2 team in the firm behind Tyler Whitman, who is on $1 Million Listing. And This year already in 2022, as of the end of Q1, we have done $40 million worth of real estate, and this is growing. So since being at Tripleman, I've been able to double and possibly this year triple the business that we've done into the prior year. So I'm really excited about that. We now have a team of 5 agents and growing. So if you do want to join a team and hear what we do offer, reach out. Thanks for coming along on a day in the life of Daniel Blatman. It's been a lot of fun. I really love what I do. I love everything that we got to see, everything we got to do today. I mean, we've explored contractor work, we've explored previewing for different clients, and also in multiple different neighborhoods. And everything was just so different, which is where I feel so lucky that I get to do this job day in and day out. And now I get to talk to you. So if you have any questions, you want me to hear your story, you want to hear more of my story, and you just want to talk real estate or New York City, reach out or leave a comment. Talk to you soon.